Kelsey Grammer teases Ted Danson's potential return as Sam Malone will solve a big problem about the Frasier reboot. Frasier Crane wrapped up his first year back in Boston without stepping back into his old drinking hole, Cheers. He also never came across anyone who frequented the bar with him 3 decades ago. This is one of the biggest letdowns for the Frasier reboot, considering the high hopes that Frasier's return to Beantown would automatically come with an update about how Cheers and its usual crowd are doing many years after the NBC sitcom wrapped up in 1993. Paramount Plus' revival was able to get away with not revisiting Cheers because its first season was devoted to laying the foundation of its overall narrative. It also needed to offer an update on what Frasier and the rest of the Crane family were up to in the 2 decades since the original Frasier show ended in 1994. Unlike its predecessors, the Frasier reboot only runs 10 episodes per season, meaning Grammer and his team had to be strategic about the plots that they wanted to prioritize. Moving forward, however, continuously ignoring Cheers would be much trickier. Sam Malone appearing in Frasier's reboot would help fix what's missing. Grammer wants to bring Ted Danson's Sam Malone to the Frasier reboot. The divisive Frasier reboot wraps up with its first 10 episodes without much relying on nostalgia. Before he was awarded his own spin-off, Grammer debuted the snooty character in Cheers as Diane's rebound boyfriend. Despite not really fitting in with the crowd at the pub, Frasier continued to visit until he became a regular. Granted that it has been 3 decades since he walked away from that life, not acknowledging his Cheers connection in the Frasier reboot makes it disconnected from the character's history with the city, which is detrimental to its storytelling. The status of the Cheers pub remains unknown in the Frasier reboot, so it will be difficult for Frasier to revisit the pub before that issue is clarified. However, Sam's possible appearance in the revival can address this issue since he's a visual reminder of Frasier's past life in Boston. Assuming that Danson agrees to make a cameo, he will be the first person from Frasier's Cheers life who reunites with him in the new show aside from Lilith, who is still family despite their divorce, since they share a son. Cheers cameos alone won't fix Frasier's reboot, but would be a start. The Frasier reboot needs to decide how it wants to remember Cheers. Sam isn't the only character from Cheers that Grammer wants to appear in the Frasier reboot. He has also expressed his desire to bring back Diane. Like Danson, Shelley Long also returned in the original Frasier, the first time as a proper reunion, and subsequently through the snooty psychiatrist's figment of imagination. Seeing either or any other Cheers player would be a start in fixing the revival's problem. However, it won't fully fix its ongoing problem about how it poorly handles its headlining character's past and how it relates to his current life in Boston. Aside from bringing back Cheers characters, the Frasier reboot also needs to decide how the Frasier reboot wants to remember that point in his life as a frequent pub patron. The revival referenced the bar and Frasier's ties to it, but it was more to poke fun at it. That's contradicting to how vital Cheers was during that period. While drinking isn't exactly a great way to spend their spare time, the establishment and its people witnessed many of his pivotal moments, including his love story with Lilith and the first few years of Freddie's life.